You're listening to the Dental Zone podcast. I'm Dr. Rachel Hall. This is the place that supports you to understand your dental issues, the causes and how to prevent them, empowering each individual to get the most out of life while bearing a stunning smile. Hello and welcome to the Dental Zone podcast. I'm Dr. Rachel Hall, holistic dentist from Brisbane, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the place where we talk about all things dental health, all things dentistry and health related, wellness, fitness and much, much more. If you want to know more, you can hop on over to holisticdentistry.au or check out evolvedental.com.au, which is a plug for my dental practice, Evolve Dental. I get requests to talk about quite a few things in relation to your dental health and wellness. And today I'm going to cover the topic of xylitol, whether it's beneficial as part of your oral health regime, does it actually help to prevent tooth decay, and is it safe for you to use? So let's get to it. Let's get in the zone and let's talk about xylitol. So what is xylitol? It's something that I'm asked quite a lot about. It's used in things like toothpaste, it's used in foods, and there's questions about whether it's safe or not. And there is lots of evidence that it has benefits for humans, especially for oral use for your dental health. So what is xylitol? Well, it's a polyalcohol. Basically, it's a sugar alcohol found in many fruits and vegetables. The one that gets used in food as the xylitol itself is extracted from corn or things like birchwood, and it's a sweetener that is similar in taste to sugar, has about 50% less calories, and even though you can go, okay, well, that's great, xylitol must be natural then. Yes, it's extracted from natural sources, but it does get processed. It goes through a thing called sugar hydrogenation so that it's stable for use, and it's made into a white powder that then can be used in foods and also in dental products. So it is actually a processed product. It's considered a low GI or low digestible carbohydrate. It doesn't impact your blood sugar levels the way sugar does. It can have a laxative effect if you take too much, but it is generally considered safe for human usage. It's widely used in things like chewing gum, oral health products, and as a sugar substitute for those with things like diabetes or blood sugar related problems, or just if you don't want sugar and you don't want all the calories. It's recommended in the natural health community, and it's very anti-fungal, as in it's good because it doesn't feed the candida and things like that. So if you do have problems with yeast and you want something sweet, xylitol is a good way to go. So how about xylitol then as a sweetener? Now, there's some controversies around this, and there always is with a lot of these things. It is promoted as safe for human consumption, as a healthy alternative for sugar, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because sugar is so bad with all the problems that it can cause. But just because it's considered safe to consume, does that actually mean it's healthy? Now, I'm always a little bit worried about things that are processed and it comes from corn, particularly if you're in the US, a lot of your corn is genetically modified. I don't know about here in Australia and other parts of the world, and probably we do have GMO, but they might not just be telling us. Because xylitol is not broken down and digested in the stomach like other sweeteners, it reaches parts of your intestines and your gut that a lot of sugar wouldn't. Since it has the ability to kill many strains of bacteria, including Streptococcus mutans, which is the one that is most likely to cause tooth decay, this is one of the reasons it's beneficial for dental health. But I do wonder if it has a bit of an adverse or negative effect on the microbiome, your gut bacteria colonies. So long term, it's probable that xylitol is very beneficial for helping with bacterial overgrowth in the digestive system, and even with things like biofilms, which is the plaque bacteria that builds up in your mouth and on your teeth. I do wonder whether it may negatively impact some of your beneficial gut bacteria, and that doesn't really have a lot of research at the moment, and it's something that we should certainly take on board and look into. Sugar alcohols cause no obvious changes in your blood glucose or insulin levels. Sorbitol and xylitol have been found not to raise your blood glucose levels. So therefore, if you are concerned about diabetes or type 2 diabetes, or you are diabetic, then this is something that you can have that's sweet and it's not going to spike your blood sugar. There's still evidence emerging that sugar alcohols like xylitol can act as a prebiotic and feed your good bacteria, which can both have positive and negative effects, depending on what's going on with your gut and whether you experience digestive issues. Now, some people will find that if they've got poor digestion, that something like xylitol may give them some upset, can cause diarrhea, have that laxative effect that I'm talking about. Well, xylitol has some unexpected benefits. It may have the potential to increase the synthesis of collagen, and collagen is important for your skin strength and smoothness, can help stop you getting wrinkly, and it's also, collagen is used for building bone and cartilage, so it may even help improve bone density. Now, they've also said that xylitol chewing gum can help reduce the risk of ear infections in children, and that may because it eliminates bacteria in the mouth that can contribute to the ear infections. And you go, well, how does that work? Well, your ear and your mouth are actually connected by the eustachian tube, which helps drain secretions from your ear, so bacteria from your mouth can travel up into your ear and cause problems in reverse. So if you've got a healthier mouth, maybe you get less ear infections. I don't know, not something I ever suffered from. So as I said, it can cause some digestional distress. So it can cause diarrhea and it can cause bloating. And so don't go bonkers and just start consuming loads of xylitol because you've heard it's good for you. But I want to focus more in on the dental health. After all, this is the Dental Zone and I'm a holistic dentist, and you're here to learn about your oral health and how you can stop cavities, gum disease, and just have a healthier mouth in general. I think the benefits of xylitol for dental health is where it's been the most studied and where there is the most convincing evidence of, yes, this is something that you should be doing to help improve your oral health. Habitual use of xylitol containing food and xylitol containing oral hygiene products has been shown to reduce the growth of dental plaque, which is the tooth decay causing bacteria. It's also the bacteria that cause gum disease. So if you've got too much nasty bacteria in your mouth and you're feeding them tons of sugar, they will grow and they will cause destruction of your tooth structure, which we call tooth decay, and you will have an increase in dental disease. But if you use xylitol, it suppresses and interferes with the growth of the caries causing bacteria, the tooth decay bacteria. It stops them breeding, it stops them clumping together, and you will should, in that case, have a decrease in the incidence of dental decay, and you can get remineralization of early decay areas in the enamel. By providing fuel for the acid-forming bacteria in the mouth, sugar consumption, proper sugar, white sugar, carbohydrate sugar, sets up an ideal acidic condition that promotes decay and demineralization of teeth. Now, xylitol, because it's non-fermentable and does not feed the acid-forming oral bacteria, will help reduce your risk of cavities. Regular use of xylitol causes the cavity-forming bacteria, most usually the Streptococcus mutans, to starve and die off by around 70 to 75%, rapidly and dramatically decreasing the level of acidic byproducts formed when bacteria ferment sugars. Xylitol increases your saliva flow, and saliva helps to buffer the acids from your food and bacteria. The more alkaline environment leads to less tooth decay and less plaque formation, and increases and promotes tooth remineralization. Untreated cavities, especially the small decay spots that are only in the outer layer of the enamel, can harden and become less sensitive from use and exposure to xylitol. Now, many dentists, myself included, advise using things like xylitol gum, xylitol mints, xylitol lozenges to help avoid cavities. Now, I don't personally like chewing gum, particularly because it can cause, if you've got mercury containing amalgam fillings, it can accelerate the mercury vaporization from there. You're putting a lot of strain on your teeth and jaws. You're producing saliva. You're telling your body you're ready for food when you're not. So I'm not a huge fan of chewing gum, but you can use xylitol in your toothpaste or a xylitol containing mouthwashes. You can have the mints and lozenges, and that's where I think xylitol's super beneficial. Apparently xylitol is toxic to dogs and other pets, so please don't give it to your animals. It's something to do with the level of blood sugar and pancreatic insulin release. Not going to go into that here, but you can look that up for yourself. But just don't give xylitol to your dogs. Very small amount can be deadly. So just be aware of that. Now, I think xylitol is very useful. I think if you can get the one made from birchwood, then you can use that in like your remineralizing toothpaste, whitening toothpaste. You can use it in your mouthwashes. If you don't want to use it as a sweetener in your food, which I'm a little bit uncertain of, then you can use monk fruit sugar, coconut sugar, and that sort of thing. And then you're going to have all the benefits without any of the side effects. So if you're considering using xylitol as an alternative to sugar, then you need to know these important things before you make your decisions. Xylitol, as I said, is derived from plants like corns and certain types of trees, and it's been used for years, but it's only recently started to gain traction as a natural sweetener and a dental hygiene kind of adjunct or supplement. If you've heard of xylitol along other natural sweeteners like stevia and agave nectar, your monk fruit, but what does it actually do? And as I said, is it healthy for your teeth? And is there anything you need to know about xylitol? Like, it's a poly sugar, so it's a sugar alcohol, a polyol sugar, and it's in fruits and vegetables, just to recap. And without getting too scientific, it's a lot like glucose, but it has a far fewer amount of calories. Now, since xylitol has fewer calories, it's used as a sugar substitute, especially when it comes to chewing gums and even oral care products. It's rarely used as a sweetener that's going to be used or ingested in large amounts. Xylitol has an amazing ability to prevent plaque from sticking and building up on your tooth enamel, and it has to do with the way the molecules stick to each other and the way the xylitol gets in the way of all that. Now, it's a sugar alcohol like sorbitol and mannitol. You'll find them in really small amounts in some fruits and vegetables, such as corn and plums. It's a carbohydrate, so it doesn't have very many calories though, so you probably don't have to worry about it too much. And when you look at sugar versus xylitol, well, sugar is bad for your teeth. drinking sodas and beverages with sugar, eating sweets and lollies and candy, chewing gums with sugar in. It's a ticking time bomb for your teeth, and it's going to cause cavities. Now, xylitol is touted as a replacement for sugar since it's better for your teeth. It physically lowers the plaque levels in your mouth, which can improve your oral health. And you will see xylitol in a lot of sugar-free sweets and chocolates and baked goods. It's in chewing gum. It's a great sugar-free alternative. And although these superior sweeteners may seem healthier than refined white sugar, they come with their potential side effects. Now, like I said, we've been told it's safe for consumption. Now, regular white sugar has a high glycemic impact, and it triggers a sharp increase in your blood glucose levels. Xylitol is absorbed more slowly, and it's lower on the glycemic index. It stays in your body longer than sugar does. Now, this slower absorption rate helps blunt your hunger cravings and keeps your insulin levels stable, so you don't have those dips and crashes that you get when you've had something sugary. Now, because of that, people with diabetes may consider using xylitol as an artificial sweetener. It's worth noting that a lot of people, diabetic or not, are going to experience digestive discomfort from ingesting moderate to large amounts of xylitol, so don't overdo it. And even though it's great for chewing gum or breath mints, swallowing too much xylitol can upset your stomach or cause diarrhea. Now, since most oral care products or mints contain very little xylitol, you shouldn't have an issue with your stomach and your gut unless you are extremely sensitive and you have gut problems. So, is xylitol good for your teeth? Now, it's a naturally occurring sugar substitute, and because it doesn't contribute to tooth decay, you would think that xylitol will be good for your teeth. However, there's some facts you should know before assuming it's safe. Now, it's good for your teeth because it can't be digested by the bacteria, therefore they're not going to use the xylitol as food and reproduce as quickly. And as a result, those bacteria can't produce the acids that would erode your enamel and cause cavities. Now, even if you don't brush and floss very well, if you use xylitol, you will actually build up less plaque and tartar. Now, it doesn't mean you can toss your toothbrush and your floss away, but it means that if you use xylitol as part of your oral health regime, it's going to have a long-term impact on the health of your teeth and gums. Now, is xylitol better than fluoride? Well, you know my thoughts on fluoride. You've only got to go and look at other videos, blogs and podcasts, and you know that I'm not a fan. Now, xylitol is a popular alternative for people looking for healthy ways to improve their oral health. Now, most dentists are going to tell you that doesn't replace the need for fluoride, but I will say yes, it does, because if you use toothpaste and mouthwashes with hydroxyapatite, you don't need fluoride, because those hydroxyapatite crystals work to create stronger, smoother surfaces to your tooth enamel and makes your teeth less prone to decay. Essentially, xylitol and hydroxyapatite working together will help to strengthen weak teeth and make them more resistant to acids, as well as reducing the amount of plaque, because xylitol helps repel plaque by preventing it from accumulating on the teeth. It doesn't remineralize enamel that's already been coated with buildup and damage. So if you use a combination of xylitol and hydroxyapatite, you're going to have very good prevention. They've got different goals. Hydroxyapatite is going to repair damaged enamel, and xylitol is going to help resist and reduce the buildup of bacteria that damages your enamel. So xylitol repels plaque, hydroxyapatite repairs area of damage, and they both can therefore prevent dental cavities before they really start. Xylitol is in things like chewing gum and breath mints. You'll find it in toothpaste and mouth rinses. So have a little look and see what's there and what's available. You don't necessarily need dental products with xylitol in them to get all the perks of using it. You can use chewing gum. You can get your xylitol gums. You can use that a couple of times a day. And there are studies that have shown that xylitol exposure significantly lowers the amount of dental plaque in your mouth, and therefore you're going to reduce your risk of tooth decay. You want to make sure that you've got good oral hygiene regime, make sure you're looking after your mouth really well, but that xylitol will support you to slow down the amount of plaque buildup and make sure that you're going to be doing all the right things of your mouth. Well, what are the side effects of xylitol? Now, it doesn't go down very well, so don't go having it in huge quantities. You might find that you get bloating, that you're going to get stomach upset, you're going to get diarrhea, and it's not probably worthwhile if that's going to happen to you, but certainly to use it in your oral health products. So let's have a look at some other benefits of xylitol. As I said before, it's good for ear infections. You can find xylitol sprays that you can, or drops that you can put in the inside of your ear if you have an ear infection. It has some benefits and it may help. Also, xylitol lozenges can help prevent ear infections, particularly in young children, because of that antibacterial effect. It's good for diabetics, so it doesn't spike the blood sugar. It doesn't cause problems with your glucose levels because it's got such a low glycemic index, and your body absorbs it slowly, so you get a flatter insulin response. So that might be something to look at. Apparently, it can help reduce respiratory infections, so that xylitol nasal sprays can help sinus congestion. It can help decrease the spread of respiratory diseases, coughs and colds, and xylitol, I think that's because it lowers the bacterial levels in the mouth, and therefore you've got fewer bad bacteria floating around. You're less likely to inhale them into your respiratory tract and compromise your immune system. Xylitol has been linked with anti-aging and skin benefits because, as I talked about a little bit earlier, that increased collagen production, so it improves your skin. Remember what happens if you eat too much, though. You're going to be having too many trips and long visits to the bathroom. Maybe you're just better off taking a collagen supplement. Gut health, despite the side effects, xylitol does have some good benefits for intestinal health. It's a great ingredient in certain dental probiotic supplements. It can help relieve symptoms of irritable bowel, because it's going to actually promote good bacteria when you're getting the right dosage. Apparently, it can be protective against osteoporosis because the xylitol stimulates bone regeneration because of its effects on insulin levels and also the collagen. Xylitol may be just have a little cough. Talking too fast. Xylitol has been shown to slow down bone resorption, which is where it dissolves. And as you get older, your risk for developing osteoporosis increases. So supplementing with xylitol could potentially help avoid bone-related osteoporotic injuries as we age. Xylitol has antifungal benefits, so if you have thrush, a type of oral yeast infection, then supplements with xylitol may improve your recovery or prevent recurring infections. If you're experiencing symptoms of yeast infections, then maybe xylitol in conjunction with proper oral hygiene and a low sugar diet is going to help prevent yeast infections. So you can use xylitol to make a mouth rinse. You can start by dissolving xylitol in a glass of water, and then you just rinse around your mouth once or twice a day. Now, if you did that with a little bit of bicarb in it, it's going to be really, really good. Now, dentists love what xylitol has offered to their patients, but I can tell you a lot of dentists still aren't recommending this. You know, they're still banging on about fluoride, when we should be talking about how about xylitol as well, or instead. So there are xylitol supplements that you can use in conjunction with your oral health regime, and these will really support you. So you can use it in your toothpaste, mouthwash, have xylitol gum, xylitol lozenges, xylitol mints. I think it's really worthwhile. So studies show that dental products containing xylitol, along with your oral hygiene, your brushing and your flossing, significantly increases your oral health and overall health because of its antimicrobial properties. The benefits of xylitol in gum or lozenge form helps reduce plaque buildup, helps reduce your risk for respiratory and ear infections, and also for oral thrush. So it's a really good thing. I do advocate it, and I think it's very, very worthwhile. So if you're interested in using some xylitol, I hope this has helped kind of just shed some light on that, help you make a decision about whether it's the right thing for you to do. Now, I haven't really covered xylitol as a food product, not something that I wanted to discuss, but given the fact that it can upset your digestion, you probably don't want to be ingesting it in large quantities, but the amount that's prevalent in a dental toothpaste or a oral lozenge or mint is really not going to be that impactful on your gut, but certainly on your oral health. So if you want to have reduced plaque, reduce risk of tooth decay, reduce the amount of plaque causing bacteria that build up that can also cause gum disease and other issues and infections in your mouth, then certainly add xylitol to your oral health regime. I'm Dr. Rachel Hall. This is the Dental Zone. If you want to know more, hop on over to holisticdentistry.au or check out evolvedental.com.au. If you're in the Brisbane area and you're looking for a dentist, then give us a call, 073720 Please share the podcast. If you're on Apple, then do a review. If you're on YouTube, then please drop us some comments, subscribe, and until next time, stay in the zone. You've been listening to the Dental Zone podcast with Dr. Rachel Hall. For health, lifestyle, fitness, and a great smile, get in the zone.